Unknown or multiple diagnosis. In the past 2 days, my grandson Logan for the first time pet a dog. It was an actual stroke of the fur from head to hiney twice. He also held and hugged for a couple of minutes a stuffed animal. He is 2 years, 9 months old. This is huge. He has been using Gemini since November. He continues to be without words, but his social interaction and eye contact has improved immensely. Connie P., grandparent. Here's Jacob deciding which lesson he wants to work on today. We have been using Gemini since August. It's the best decision we've made so far for his speech, and he loves it. Jenny V., parent. At age 6, Gemini gave my beautiful boy his first words. Here he is, only 7 months later, reading out loud. My heart is happy, light, and heavy at the same time. Keep up the fight, and most importantly, the hope, moms and dads. Brandy B., parent. My daughter is almost completely typical and talking now. We do some little conversation things with Gemini, and I tell people about it every chance I get. It was a godsend, and I thank you very, very much for developing this. I was at my lowest point and crying every day when I found Gemini, and with it came hope that I had some control over the situation, and every day we could work on it with her. Maybe I couldn't pay for that speech therapist or drive the hour and a half to a bigger city to a speech therapist, but I had Gemini right in my home. I had great support and help over the phone if I needed it from all the people who work there. We are going to keep our membership probably at least for another year, even though I don't even have a job, but I have it on auto pay and we try our best to remember to get it paid for, and so we really appreciate it. It has changed my life in the direction towards success and more success. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Patricia Q. I'm truly grateful for Gemini. My friend suggested trying Gemini almost a year ago, but I was concerned about finances. I wish I hadn't waited. Our daughter has made big improvements communicating and is trying harder to speak in longer, complete sentences. I smiled to myself the other day when another child attempted to take a toy from her, and she responded with, "Hey, don't take that. That is mine. It is not yours." In the past, she'd just yell, "No." Janice G., parent. I started Gemini about 3 months ago. It was the first thing I tried when my 17-month-old was labeled at risk for autism. We have been watching the animal sounds videos repeatedly, and I've even made some of my own. Just this past week, my son started talking. He only says a few words, car, mama, dada, paw, kitty, uh-oh, juice, but he knows so many animal sounds. I had no clue he was absorbing all of those. He knows elephant, sheep, monkey, snake, dog, cat, tiger, and lion. He's really incredible. His speech therapist is amazed. He is picking up more animal sounds every day. I have to admit I was skeptical, but not anymore. Thank you, Gemini. Megan S., parent. We started Gemini at the beginning of August, and we are halfway through the 7.0 lesson. Yesterday, my 2-year-old nonverbal son woke up from his nap, sat up in bed, waved, and said, "Hi," like they do in the video. Love it. Jennifer L., parent. Just wanted to say that I have been using Gemini for about a year now, and it has helped my son hugely. He has between 50 and 200 word labels under his belt, but still doesn't tend to put sentences together. Picking the right videos could be a bit overwhelming with the previous Gemini, and I just want to say thank you so much for this new update. It is amazing, and I feel so much more confident that I will be using the correct videos for my son moving forward. As always, thank you to Laura Kasbar for creating this therapy for our children with extra needs. If anyone is reading this and wondering whether to try Gemini, I would say go for it. Natasha M., parent. I just wanted to say thank you. I somehow found Iris Grace's page, which brought me here, and I just took a leap of faith and decided I had nothing to lose to try the program. My son Z has just turned 3 in November, and I have been trying just about everything to get him to talk. He has about 0 clear words other than mommy and no, and he is undiagnosed with anything. He is extremely bright, as if it moves too fast. His mind is so busy, he can't slow down enough to get the words out. When he does, they are incorrect, as if he has articulation problems. Example, I'll say dino and he'll say du. He has been going to school for his early childhood program for 3 months now, And though his behavior has gotten better following directions, his words haven't seemed to change. He has been doing speech therapy every 2 weeks since he was 2. I started your program 2 days ago. First day, he was actually trying to say fish, and we watched for an hour after school during his dinner time. Second day, again after school during his dinner. He said bear and lizard almost clearly. I almost cried. I can't wait to see how he's progressing a month from now. I'm so excited. This is Z watching and holding up his elephant picture that he sorted out of the pile of animals himself. Sarah C., parent. My son is 5 in just a couple of weeks and almost totally nonverbal. We have been using this program for a few weeks now, and I'm so impressed with it. We are seeing gains that have seriously taken almost a year to accomplish with regular speech therapy. I'm so thankful for this program. Try it. You have to give it a shot. I was pretty skeptical, but decided to give it 1 month. I'm so glad I did. Heidi R., parent. My son spoke more yesterday during speech therapy than he ever has. He has been doing this program for almost 3 weeks. He has been going to speech therapy for 5 months. We are so impressed with this program and become more and more hopeful every day. Natasha M., parent. My daughter used Gemini for just a few times very sporadically throughout a month's time. I choose assignments that Laura suggested, focusing on tools for mental and motor connection. All of a sudden, she's reading words and I almost can't keep up with her. Something in her just connected. She's learned to read about 60 new words in the last few weeks alone. This is a huge improvement. MJD, parent. This is the day after. So happy with Gemini and my boo thang is loving it. Mika N., parent. I live paycheck to paycheck. I applied for a scholarship and got approved. There are different qualifications for the scholarships too that can help out. After I tried it, I can't even put a price on my son's progress. It really works and he loves it. Better than anything else we've tried. Ardrey M., parent. JJ started using Gemini for the second time 6 months ago. During that 6 months, he has gone from a vocabulary of 20 words when prompted to over 100 words with independent short sentences. His growth has been so great that his teacher is now integrating Gemini into her program at school for JJ and the rest of the class. Raising a child with special needs really does take a village, and we would like to thank Gemini for being an integral part of our son's village. Jacob B., parent. At the mall, after watching the Gemini cowboy video, my daughter just climbed onto the moving toys, then asked for coins to put in, and she stayed on it for 3 rounds. She used to hate things like that before. Georgie V., parent. I would like to say that this program is the best thing that has happened to my family. My son, who is nonverbal in any way, is now saying up to 25 words. Today we are watching dog videos on YouTube, and he said dog and proceeded to make a sound like a dog. I teared up with joy. I'm beyond happy that I took the leap of faith and clicked on the More Info tab on Facebook. This has been an amazing journey. Chlorina H., parent. The Gemini app brought enormous fun to a standstill traffic on the M25, listening and joining in with my passenger and budding communicator Sam. Sherry H., parent. I have 2 children on the spectrum, and Gemini has been crucial in my children's development. Parent. I have been doing Gemini for 4 months and had not seen the results that others have seen. I was about to give up, in tears writing this, but I read a comment from a parent who said that she had a call with the Gemini staff, and it made all the difference. I couldn't live with myself knowing that I might have been doing things wrong, so I signed up for a call, and it did make all the difference. I made the adjustments that Gemini recommended, and he said his first word. Not only that, he is loving it now, whereas before he would scream. I didn't know about the hater sessions. My son is definitely a hater, at least he was. Now that we have found these, he runs from the other side of the house to watch. I am so hopeful. Thank you so much, Laura, for not giving up on the ones that are picky like my son. I can't believe I almost quit. I may have never heard his little voice. Brenda K., parent. Discovering Gemini was the moment I finally felt I had some control over how I can help my son. Prior to that, I spent hours and hours lamenting PECS cards and trying to make it all work out any way I could. and that has certainly all helped too. I felt like it was in Gemini, though, that I found a tool that he loves and that makes me feel in control. It was like watching his brain light up and make connections about language. If you sign up and it's not working, you can request extra help with strategies. It's not a magic fix, of course. We've got years of working on his language ahead of us, but I absolutely believed that Gemini has and still is really helping him to connect the dots. I didn't need any further proof that Gemini was awesome, but it keeps coming. This morning, I asked Max, age 7, primarily only verbal for scripting and requests, if he finished his breakfast and got no answer. This generally means yes, so I took his plate and his milk and started walking away with them. He quickly said, "I have none," which is a quote from one of the Gemini videos that demonstrate sharing and quantities. In the video, the boy-girl says, "I have none," and then the other child gives them some back. So it was Max's way of telling me he wasn't finished. It's a brilliant example of how scripts become their language. Max has also been known to use movie quotes and song lines as language too. These kids are amazing. Max was watching his Gemini video about hamburgers, so I asked him if he would like a cheeseburger. He said yes, so I brought him one and pretended to eat it, and studied it and opened it and nibbled at a tiny edge of the spread. This is huge for him. I'm guessing a couple more attempts and he will actually bite one. Sherry 8. Laura, thanks for the quick response. We are so excited to be using this system. I have hope for Garrett's language and reading future like I've never had before. Just today, he said, "Mom, Ethan, Elijah, my house today?" He has 2 best friends. He was wanting them to come over. The amount of complete sentences, just sentences more than 1 or 2 words, is amazing. My husband and I are laughing because he is also brushing his teeth an awful lot these days, as well as taking a shower and wrapping himself in a towel when he's done. It's just wonderful. I also want to let you know that as soon as I read over your payment policy and all the options you have available, most importantly your commitment is to leaving no child out because of financial restrictions, I was in. I have been incredulous over the years of these specialists who have all the information and magical solutions for our kids, but we will go broke using them. It is incredibly upsetting. Such a gift that you make this possible for other kids. Have a great night. Jenny, parent. E has been doing absolutely wonderful with your program. It's like something is clicking in his mind to make all that has been absorbed just roll right out. The I love yous, the pointing and saying I want that, and I ask and what is that? And he will make an attempt to sound out the word. The best part, because the communication has increased gigantically, he is less aggressive with his behavior. This past week, my husband and I have shed many tears of joy. You have saved my son, and we'll always be very grateful. Jessica P., parent. My little Abby asked to watch the sports video I made on Gemini. She keeps saying, "Base a ball, base a ball." I finally figured out what she wanted. Thank you, Gemini, for making this wonderful program available. Hearing my baby girl's sweet voice is so amazing. Brenda H. Wow. Just God knows my regret now for quitting and losing 2 years of Gemini. My daughter is putting her videos by herself, and she is choosing her favorites and saying everything. I sit with her and we start mimicking, but today she surprised me. She told me about one of the videos and said, "Look, she's attacking him with the flower." I'm still in shock. I cried of happiness. I highly recommend any parent here to give it a try, and don't think a lot about the money because you will have your own SLP at home, and kids start loving the videos and program. I'm very happy with the result in just a week using Gemini again. Elivert V., parent. My son started Gemini almost 2 months ago, and he is starting to say a few words. The other day, he said a complete sentence. I did it! I was so happy I almost cried. This has given me so much hope. So glad we decided to give it a try. Melissa A., parent. Using the potty training video for 3 days now with my 5-year-old nonverbal, and he has successfully gone pee 2 mornings in a row now. Dad and I have been working hard at potty training, and we are now seeing results after 2 days of watching the video. So happy with the results I am seeing from my son and this program. I wish I would have started this last year. Christy L. I love how my little boy, aged 4, has begun to modify the scripts from the videos to make sense in his daily play and daily interactions. His latest special interest is airplanes, and on the way home from school today, he said, "What am I? A plane. What does a plane make? Whoosh." Earlier this week, he wanted to request something to eat. He said, "Ooh, I'm hungry. Do you want banana bread or orange juice?" These were the choices available to him at the time. "I want orange juice. Thank you. You're welcome." I believe in Gestalt language learning. I can't wait until he begins to customize and recombine even more. Gemini is giving me the gift of seeing how bright my little guy really is, and giving me even greater hope for the future. Who cares that he scripts sometimes, don't we all? Better to be functioning at scripting and practicing sequencing longer sentences than getting frustrated not knowing how to say what's in your head. My little guy has apraxia of speech too. I feel Gemini supports traditional SLP gains all the way. Bless you, Laura Kasbar and family. Kimberly V., parent. Any skepticism I had about Gemini is gone. I just heard my son say, "What does a bear say?" Clear as a bell. Hand gestures and everything. He's only been on the program for 2 weeks, and I'm so encouraged. I never think I could be anything prouder than I am, and then he surprises me and does something else previously unthought of. He works so hard. Who knew growing up a 3-year-old would be my biggest inspiration? Parent. Last night I learned about Gemini. This morning I joined the program. Tonight, my 4-year-old was trying to say words while watching. The interaction he had with the sessions was phenomenal. My wife and I can't believe it. For the first try at it, we see the light that he will for sure speak. This is amazing. Thank you so much. Janot, Susan, and our son, Donovan. Janot S., parent. I'm so very impressed with this program. This evening, my daughter and I were eating candies that made our tongues turn color, and she turned to me and says, "Can you explain why your tongue is blue?" So I replied and asked her the same question, except hers was red. And she giggles and says, "'Cause my heart candy was red, silly." Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Not only is she understanding, but she's generalizing it. Best money I have spent in a very long time. Sherry R., parent. Sean started saying the last part of every day, day. After 2 videos, he was saying all the days with no problem. I love this program. He learns so much more in a few sessions than in school every day. Elizabeth C., parent. I'm so excited. We have been using Gemini for under a week, and I have seen amazing improvement in my 3-year-old. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm watching this unfold before my eyes. Here's an example. He has struggled with the word fix for so long. He usually says seek. He could make all the individual sounds. He just couldn't put them together. Out of the blue today, he clear as a day said fix. His articulation has significantly improved in just 6 days. I tell everyone who will listen about Gemini. Nancy B., parent. Around age 4, her first word was medicine, though we never heard it again. By age 6, she had nearly 40 words. Then we started using Gemini. Now she has hundreds of words and is constantly speaking in 3 to 4 word sentences. The words she has, she truly has. Not here today and gone tomorrow. All this is to say, though it is hard, don't get discouraged. While it took us years to get started, that little snowflake we pushed around for what felt like forever finally formed a ball, and now it's starting to roll downhill faster and bigger every day. Elizabeth G., parent. It's happening. My son just came up to me and said up because he wanted me to get up and come with him. This is the first time he said up instead of up. The first time he's ever said anything independently without prompting. I'm so proud of him and so excited. We just started Gemini 6 days ago. Sarah M., parent. Oh, just have to post. We have been using Gemini for maybe 2.5 weeks, and my verbal but non-communicative son, age 5, he is starting to communicate. Not exactly like the videos, but now he says water if he is thirsty. And we are watching the food labeling sessions I set up, and they were on apple, and he said chicken. I said, "No, apple." He said chicken again and went to the refrigerator and got out a piece of leftover chicken, wagged it at me, and said, "Chicken." He also said, "I love you" to me this morning. 2 weeks ago, occasionally he would ask for water, maybe 1 or 2 times a week, but nothing else and no responses to questions. And tonight he got up out of bed, and I told him to go back to bed, and he said, "Go potty." He is potty trained but has never asked to go to the potty. I just have to show him where a bathroom is so he can go when he needs to. And if we are in public and I don't take him, he would never ask, just eventually have an accident if I didn't take him. So this has been amazing. April D., parent. Decided to give the Gemini a try. We heard about it from a few different places, and I figured it can't hurt, so let's give it a shot. Started over the weekend, and Leah is loving it so far. Attempting to make the sounds she is hearing, has learned a few new signs, and is very interested in the videos. It's a lot of repetition, but I knew that would be no problem for Leah, as she loves watching the same shows over and over again anyway. Excited to see what adding this to our home therapy will do for her. Kelly, parent. March 21st. My son Zach was thrown from a car 6 years ago. He had frontal lobe, multiple shearing and tearing, anoxic and brainstem damage. He has been nonverbal, but we know his vocal cords work because he has cried out in pain before. He is using Gemini, a learning program originally created for kids with autism. To help Zach relearn how to talk, it is going to be played for him 2 to 3 times a day, and we will first see if we can get Mom, and then we shall be using several different videos as he progresses. Please pray this will help him. March 30th. We just started the program a week ago. However, the other day, he said Mom as clear as a bell in front of a nurse and myself. I was so proud and told him so, and he was grinning from ear to ear, as was I and the nurse. Our motto is stay strong, Zach, keep the faith. Right now, he likes to play yes, no, want, hurt, and mom. Praying for more to come. D.S. Smith Johnston, parent. I have 2 daughters, ages 4 and 5. My 5-year-old has Down syndrome, ASD, and apraxia. My 4-year-old has high-functioning ASD. I'm very excited to start using the videos with my 5-year-old, who is essentially nonverbal. We watched the first video tonight and she didn't want to turn it off. Also, she tried to make the bear sounds. Christina L., parent. We've almost completed our first day with the program, and I've been wiping away happy tears for most of it. My 2-year-old son is mostly nonverbal. His only functional word is bye-bye. He has sensory processing disorder, and we are waiting for our autism evaluation. He did 3, count 'em, 3 imitations today. Can't believe it. What a wonderful day. Emily C., parent. We got bubbles, clear as day. 5 months in with Gemini, and we customized a session to enhance his speech therapist's target of getting him to say the sound B. We had bubbles, bus, blue, banana, etc. First run through, and he says bubbles. This is huge for us. Alex is only 34 months and has apraxia and language delay, SPD and suspected ASD, and is classed as nonverbal. Gemini has helped massively with his receptive language and understanding, and we knew we needed to stick with it to see the benefit with his expressive language, and it is worth every second. The thing is, Alex doesn't always like watching the sessions, so they are played at random times, and it often looks like he's not even watching. Yes, I have been known to follow him from room to room holding the iPad in his sight, because mealtimes do not work for us. But everyone has noticed the difference in him. Yes, I cried, and I'm so proud of him. I had to share because I see some parents losing hope after a few weeks. Hopefully, Alex's progress will give them hope. My little guy is also 3 in July with apraxia. We are 5 months in, and we have words now. They are not always clear, but they are consistent and used in context. He says mammy, daddy, grandma, bubbles, ball, bear, no, and he will also now try to say words when requested by his therapist. She is ecstatic with his progress. Forgot to add, he now babbles nonstop, and at Christmas was completely nonverbal. It took about 6 months for words to start, and I can't express how fantastic it is to hear Alex call me Mummy now. He gets it right every time now. We have lots of other speech-like words, and he recognizes shapes, colors, some letters, and the numbers 1 through 10 as well now. Was sitting at the traffic light today, and when they changed to green, he shouted out, "Green S go!" Green means go. Not perfect, I know, but I'm taking that as a sentence, and we all did a happy dance and proceeded to shout it out at every traffic light we went past on green. Donna C., parent. Saris, rhymes with Paris, is 8 and has Down syndrome, CAS, a protruding tongue, hypotonia, and autism. She has had ST, OT, and PT since she was a baby. She has had swallow studies, sleep studies, and she is currently scheduled for another swallow study. We have done home therapy, gone to specialists outside of the home for ST, OT, PT as well. We've tried the preschool PEP, abcmouse.com. We've tried where you put her hands on our throats to feel the vibrations. She's never been interested. Then we heard about Gemini and have been using it since September of 2015. We were about to cancel it in July of 2016 because she just wasn't interested in it. We were broken. When we really didn't have anywhere else to turn, we realized that Saris is just a late bloomer. For example, even with all the therapies, she didn't even start walking until she was 3.5. So Gemini was the only thing she was sort of interested in, so we started picking up the pieces. Although she is still not at a conversational place yet, she will get there, and we have Gemini to thank for that. I'm so glad we didn't give up. Honestly, I cannot express how heartbreaking it is to tell my daughter I love her, and she not say it back. Now she says hi to everyone she knows. She says bye-bye. She literally started waving last week. She is not potty trained, but she says pee-pee when she wants to go potty. She can say lion, fish, monkey, and makes the oh-oh-ah-ah monkey sound. She can say green, purple, blue. She can say rectangle, triangle. She can sing her ABCs and she can count to 10. Although she doesn't say I love you yet, she says night-night since using Gemini. She follows instructions more, such as paying attention when we are at the store or wherever, and she will stay in line at school. She stays in her seat more at school, and she is more attentive in general. She used to be mostly in her own little world, but now things are just starting to click with her. We are unbelievably grateful for Gemini. They say having a child with special needs is like taking the scenic route. You still get where you are going, but it may take a little longer. But it will be well worth the trip. And Cirrus is an amazing tour guide. I stated earlier that we were broken, while Gemini has truly been a piece we've been missing. As you know, progress is progress, no matter how slow you go. Gemini has helped us become whole, and Cirrus will be very verbal with time and patience, and lots of practice and faith. Karina B., parent.